What is going on, YouTube? It's the Honesty Podcast, your one-stop shop for sports and entertainment. 7 days a week for my vlog series. I'm Pat Voss. I'm the host. I'm also a writer for GMB Sports, gmbsports.com. You can go check them out. honestypodcast.weebly.com. It'll all be down in the description. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. I'll answer all your comments, and subscribers, you get a special Google Hangouts with me once a month. Go ahead and check that out. I'll send out emails as soon as possible. By the way, usually for people who don't know the channel, I'm a sports writer. I do sports podcast and entertainment. So musicians, anything going on in sports and entertainment right now, I will dive into on my regular shows every single Saturday. That's at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Periscope. I'll then do a YouTube channel view and a vlog in the same day. So every Saturday you get triple action on Saturdays, and then a vlog every rest of the day, every other day. And of course, my blogs at honestypodcast.weebly.com. One thing I want to dive into right now, I've been on Cowboys rants, I've been on Cubs rants, now I'm going to get on the White Sox. The White Sox have announced that they are trading Chris Sale to the Boston Red Sox, and I couldn't be more pissed off. Honestly, I couldn't be more angry. Not because I'm a Cubs fan, and yes, I would love another ace as Chris Sale to come over to the Cubs and join our Northside fandom. But I'm more ticked off because Rick Hahn said he would not deal Chris Sale to the Northsiders because they're the Northsiders. That to me is completely biased, and that's not something that I like. And as far as fair practices go, that's not something I like. That's not something I'm down with. Because we were talking about, and the Cubs front office was talking about how they wanted to possibly trade away maybe Schwarber, Baez for Sale, or Quintana. You know, we were willing to trade our best players. Schwarber, one of the best hitters in the World Series this past year. Baez, one of the best defensive players on the Cubs this year, and the NLCS MVP, co-MVP. So we're looking to get rid of our good talent, and yet some, dick from the other team doesn't want to trade over, so he goes and trades to another American League team who will probably, if the White Sox ever make it to the playoffs, will beat his own team or his old team in the playoffs in the next couple of years. So congratulations, White Sox. You just screwed the pooch. You screwed up. You screwed up big time. You could have dealt them to us. We would have given you great prospects. We would have given you great players. We would have actually given the White Sox some depth. Abreu's probably going to go. Frazier's probably going to go. Quintana may go. Chris Sale's already gone. They're going to gut from the inside out, and that's going to ruin that team. For the next 3 to 4 years, that team will be terrible. At least. And now that they've changed from Comiskey, then they're U.S. Cellular, now they're Guaranteed Rate Field, that franchise as a whole is starting to take a nosedive, and I'm hoping they can get it back on track, because at certain points in the Cubs franchise history, we have taken nosedives left and right. So have the Bears, so did the Blackhawks, so did the Bulls. But everybody eventually got their shit together, and that's exactly what I'm expecting from the general manager and the owner and the whole team there over at, I'll still call it Comiskey, over at Comiskey for the White Sox. You need to get your stuff together, because eventually fans are going to lose interest, and you're going to see more North Side fans on the South Side than ever before. You're going to see more Cardinals fans on the South Side than ever before. Don't lose your fan base because of stupidity. Don't lose it because of ignorance. The Cubs were becoming more commercialized this year and over the last couple of years, and I disagree with that wholly, because I didn't want to become another San Francisco Giants, who, yes, won every other year since 2010 in the World Series, but became more commercialized. Their park is straight out of a commercial. It's straight out of an ad in the paper. That's not something that I like. I don't like that commercialized, because I feel that it takes away from the game of baseball itself, and the game that so many people love. It gets a little tainted, gets a little ruined. Of course, not to mention in the 90s, they did have the steroid era in the 80s and 90s. So that's something I don't want to take away from Wrigley Field. I don't want it to be one, name change, or two, I don't want to be more commercialized. They have the two mega screens. They have, that's fine. They have fireworks after the game. That's fine. They have the old scoreboard in center field. That's great. They still have the ivy on the walls. That's awesome. But to be changing names or to be changing the stands or the look, why? Why are you doing that? Because the Cubs just won the World Series. They're doing that because now they have the financial ability to do so, and they'll have the backing from the city to do so. In order to make these changes, seeing as how they just won the World Series, there are millions of dollars have poured in this year for the Cubs organization. They're all getting paid. They're all having a great time. But if you make this more and more commercialized, yes, it will end up like the Yankees, and not in the way that a lot of Cubs fans would hope. It's not in the way of a three-peat or 5 World Series visits. What was it? 96 they won, 98, 99, and 2000. Well, 96, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Those were all World Series that the Yankees appeared in, and they won 4 of those. So 4 out of 5 appearances in 6 years is freaking amazing. But, no, I'm sorry, they lost 2001, so 3 out of 5. But the Cubs don't want to go down that route as far as making a new stadium, changing a name, making it more commercial. That's not something they want to do, trust me, because they will get a huge backlash for that. If White Sox fans think, or if the White Sox organization thinks trading Chris Sale is going to bring up some ruckus and possibly getting rid of Frazier, Quintana, maybe Adam Eaton, Jose Abreu. If you want to get rid of these key pieces that you could build a franchise around to rebuild from the bottom up, you're going to get a lot of flack. I mean, look at the Cubs organization. The Cubs organization got a huge amount of flack from its fans and fan base based on trying to rebuild from 2011 on. They sucked. 2014, they only had 70-something wins. Then they go to 97 wins in 2015 and get to the NLCS. Then in 2016, they have 103 wins, one of the best totals in the Cubs franchise history. They set tons of records. They passed a lot of players' previous records for hits and home runs and bases or times walked. And then they reached the World Series this year, and they finally freaking won it. So that shows you rebuild, if under the right hands, or in the right hands rather, rebuilding can actually help. Unfortunately, I don't feel that way with the White Sox organization. I don't think that rebuilding with these guys will help. I think they should have held on to at least Chris Sale. Maybe you move Quintana and Abreu and Frazier, but keep on to Adam Eaton. Come on. They have Rollins, I believe. Keep on to the people that you know you can keep in your organization. Please keep on to the people that you can keep, because starting over is not necessarily blowing everything up and starting over. Starting over is, do you have a farm system? Do you have an okay farm system? Do you have a pretty good farm system? Well, build on that. Build on that with trades, with drafts. Build on that over the next few years, and in 4 to 5 years, you'll be contending just like we were. And again, not a Sox fan. I'm not a White Sox fan at all. I'm not a Red Sox fan. I'm not any fan really but the Cubs. And to see the Southsiders, as far as the organization, to see the Southsiders blow such a chance that they could have had to rebuild the right way, I just it brings into question, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me or disagree, which is fine. And by the way, comment on that. I will answer any comments in the section there. It kind of brings up your lack of faith in an organization. So please have faith in an organization that you truly believe will get you where you want to go. If not, leave. Be another fan. Please. Don't be a fair weather fan. Don't just like a team, and then when they get better, or not like a team rather, and then when they get better, start liking them again. That happened a lot with the Cubbies the last couple of years. I've been watching the Cubs, and I know I'm a little bit younger. I'm 28 years old. I was born in 1988. I have been watching the Cubs games on TV since I was about 4 years old, since I can actually remember watching them. About 4 years old. Started playing baseball when I was 7. And from then on, I've been a Cubs fan my entire life, basically. Never fair weathered. I never left my fandom. I never stopped watching. I never stopped participating in discussion groups and talks and things like that. And here we are, and I finally feel rewarded. We won the World Series, and I couldn't be happier. Now, in 2005, a lot of White Sox fans did the same thing. A lot of White Sox fans, not saying all, but some, like the Cubs, they were made that season. They watched the White Sox the last couple of years before 2005 really try to get up to an advantage and finally break through and sweep in a World Series in 2005 against the Astros, who, of course, at the time were an NL Central team. But I just don't agree with, one, fair weather fans, and two, rebranding of a franchise, because normally it doesn't work out and it just makes fans hate you more. This has been an Honesty Podcast vlog number 11. I will see you guys for number 12 tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday tomorrow. See you later, guys. I've been Pat Voss. Check me out at Honesty Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pat Voss 12 on Snapchat. I'll see you guys later. Send me a DM.